as we are doing now. So what is your responsibility as a father, mother, doesn't matter who you are, responsible in an education, for the education of a human being? That's one problem. What is your responsibility if you feel responsible for human growth, human culture, human goodness? What's your responsibility to the earth? To nature? You follow? It is a tremendous thing to feel responsible.
This just came to mind, which I must ask you about. The word negation in the book that we looked at earlier, which is continuous with what we're saying, I think is itself rather endangered by the usual notion that we have of negation, which is simply a prohibition, which is not meant.
No.
Which is not meant.
Of course.
When we reviewed that incident in the Gita between the general and his charioteer, the Lord Krishna, the Lord's response was a negation without it being a prohibition.
Quite.
Wasn't it?
I don't know.
No. I mean, in terms of what we just got through seeing. Yes. There's a difference then between rearing a child in terms of relating to the child radically in the present, in which negation, as is mentioned in the book here that we went through, is continuously and immediately and actively present, and simply walking around saying to oneself, now I'm rearing a child, therefore I mustn't do these things, and I mustn't do those things, I must do that. Exactly. An entirely different thing. But
so
one has to break the habit of seeing negation as prohibition.
And also, you see, with responsibility goes love, care, attention.
Yes, earlier I was going to ask you about care in relation to responsibility. Something that would flow immediately, naturally. Yes. Not something that I'd have to project that I needed to care for later.
Yeah.
And so I won't forget. But I would be with it. Yes.
See, that involves a great deal too, because the mother depends on the child. And the child depends on the mother or the father, whatever it is. So that dependence is cultivated. Not only between the father and the mother, but depend on a teacher. Depend on somebody to tell you what to do. Depend on your guru.
Yes,
so
I'm
gradually the child, the man, is incapable of standing alone. And therefore he says, I must depend on my wife for my comfort, for my sex, for my this or that and the other thing. I'm lost without her. And I'm lost without my guru, without my teacher. It becomes so ridiculous. So when the feeling of responsibility exists, all this disappears. You are responsible for your behavior, for the way you bring up your children, for the way you treat a dog, a neighbor, the nature. Everything is in your hands. Therefore, you have to become astonishingly careful what you do. Careful, not I must not do this and I must do that. Care. That means affection, that means consideration, diligence. All that goes with responsibility, which present society totally denies. When we begin to discuss the various gurus that are imported in this country, that's what they are doing, creating such mischief, making those people unfortunate, thoughtless people who want excitement, join them, do all kinds of ridiculous, nonsensical things. So come back. Freedom implies responsibility. And therefore freedom, responsibility means care, diligence, not negligence, not doing what you want to do, which are what is happening in America. Do what you want to do. This permissiveness is just doing what you want to do, which is not freedom, which breeds irresponsibility. And I met the other day in Delhi, New Delhi, a girl, and she's become a Tibetan. You follow, sir?
Yes.
Born in America, being a Christian, brought up all that, throws all that aside, becomes a Tibetan, which is the same thing in different words.
Yes, as a Tibetan coming over here and doing it.
It's all ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
And I've known her some years. I said, where is your child? Was sick. Oh, she said, I've left him with other liberated Tibetans. I said, at 6, you are the mother? She said, yes, he's in very good hands. I come back next year and I ask, where is your child? Oh, he has become a Tibetan monk who is 7. He's 7 years old and has become a Tibetan monk. You understand, sir?
Oh, yes, I do.
The irresponsibility of it. Because the mother feels they know better than I do. I am Tibetan and the lamas will help me to become.
It puts a rather sinister cast on that biblical statement, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old he will not depart from it. There's a sinister note in that, isn't there?
Absolutely. So this is going on in the world all the time. And a man who is really serious negates that, because he understands the implications, the inwardness of all that. So he has to deny it. It isn't a question of will or choice. He says that's too silly, too absurd. So freedom means responsibility and infinite care.
The phrase that you just spoke, infinite care,
Yes, sir.
it would be totally impossible to what we mean by a finite being unless the finite being did not betray the present. With not betraying the present, it's a negative again. It's a negation again. With not betraying the present, which is not to say what will happen if it's not done. Right.
The word present, the now, is rather difficult.
Oh, yes. Philosophers love to call it the specious
And
present.
I don't know what philosophers say. I don't want to enter into all that speculative thinking. But the fact, what is the now? What is the act of now, the present? To understand